Okay, in the last video, we had just finished committing the getIgnore file and the getAttributes file to the feature 1 console branch in our application, and we pushed that to the remote repo. Okay, so we still got a lot to do here. The first thing I'm going to do is create a Gradle-like project structure for the application. Okay, and to do that, I need to go back to this slide because this has the Gradle file in it. So I'm going to get in the application here, and the build.gradle file. Okay, this file here, the build.gradle will go right under, just like the getAttributes and the getIgnore. That'll go right under our project directory. Okay, so I'm going to create a new file called build.gradle. Okay, and notice that as soon as I create this file, it says, well, it says, do you want to add it? And yes, I want to add everything. But it also says Gradle Java build scripts load Gradle project. So we didn't create this as a Gradle project. We created this by cloning a remote repository project, which was empty. Okay. I think it had a README file or something like that, but that's it. So IntelliJ doesn't even know what kind of project this is. This is going to be a Gradle project. Okay, so I'm going to click Load Gradle Project, and that will activate the Gradle plugin for this particular project, Java 8 Adventure Walk. All right, so make sure you do that. That's important. And it also opens up this Gradle panel on the right here. I'm going to close that for now because we don't need it right now. So I've got build.gradle, and I want to copy the code from my PowerPoint application into there. Now, I don't think you guys will have this problem, but because I'm inside of a text box here, PowerPoint uses some of its own formatting. So what I have to do is I have to copy this, and it seems weird. I don't think you guys will have to deal with this, but if you do have any problem copying and getting strange characters when you copy this text into IntelliJ, let me know, and we'll troubleshoot that. Okay, so I'm going to put this into a Word document, and it's actually going to format it nicely, and then I'm going to highlight it and copy this. It's kind of a two-step process here, and then I'm going to put that into IntelliJ. Okay, and anytime you modify a Gradle file, this little elephant icon should pop up, and it says sync Gradle changes, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. All right, so now we got the Gradle plugin active for this particular project, and we've got a legitimate Gradle file here in our project. And now what I can do is I can start creating some directories, and I'll just show you here. We're going to have a sources root directory, we're going to have a resources root directory, we're going to have a test sources root directory, and it's all going to be under source. Okay, so source main Java will be the sources root, source main resources will be the resources root, and resources can be like images and things like that. I'm going to show you an easy resource, a banner.txt file. Okay, that will hold some ASCII art, and then we're going to have our test sources root, and this is where our unit tests are going to go, like game test. All right, so let's go ahead and create source main Java right off the bat here. Again, that's right under our project. And if I do directory, and look at this, as soon as I do new directory under my working directory, it gives me these options. Do you want to create this source main Java? Do you want to create source main resources? Do you want to create source test Java? And the answer is yes. I want to create all of those. But the reason IntelliJ is smart enough to give me this is because it now knows that this is a Gradle project. And these are common Gradle directories. Okay, so I'm going to double click this one, and it automatically marks this. You can see that you might be able to see that this folder is blue. So that indicates that this is a sources root. That's where my sources go. And I'm going to do the same for the resources, source main resources. That's where my resources are going to go. And then I'm going to do the same for my test sources root, okay, where my unit tests will go. Okay, so boom, I got all of them just like that. And if you're not seeing those suggestions, it means that the Gradle plugin, IntelliJ's Gradle plugin, is not active for this project, and IntelliJ did not mark this as a Gradle project yet. So that needs to be done, and the best way to do that is right off the bat when you're creating that build.gradle file. It should ask you if you want this to be a Gradle project, and you're going to say yes. Okay, let's see what we have to do here. So we did this. This is one of the source files, but I'm going to look here to see what this says. We created a Gradle-like project structure. That's good. Uses a banner text file in the resources directory. I think I'm going to do this before I do the Java files, because this is kind of neat. What I'm going to do is I just want a little bit of ASCII art to introduce the adventure. And you can go to, if you go to text to ASCII art, okay, this the first one that comes up, TAAG, is probably the ones you want. So you can type something in there and it will turn this into ASCII art. I'm not crazy about that one, but I want, let me see if I type it. I might just do Adventure. Let me try Java Adventure now. So you see it did Java Adventure. I don't like that one. Gonna look at a couple. Oh, that's too big. I mean, this is gonna be on the console, so it can't be that that large. I mean, that will fit, but that I can't even read. Big. Even though it says big, it's actually, this is a kind of a nice one. I like this one. Blocks. No, I don't like blocks. That's too big. Cards. It's small enough, but it's kind of hard to read from my perspective. Okay, so I finally found it. Here it is. Java Adventure. I think I'm going to do this one. And I'm just going to Let's see, how do I copy this whole thing? I'll try this. And then I want to put this in, I want to put this in a file called banner text, but I want to put it under resources. Okay. So there's main, source main resources. And I have a new file called banner.txt, and that didn't really work. Let's try this again. Copy that and paste it there. All right, that kind of worked. All right. I'm going to clean this up a little bit and see if I can make it a little bit more presentable to my liking. I want to put a little frame around it. Okay. Okay, so there's what I have ended up with for my banner. So this is the first thing that displays on the screen.